Hey, welcome back to the Let's Play series. We've actually been up to quite a lot since the last time I saw you. For one, we just finished building this iron farm here. I can't remember at all whose design this is. This is just the one that I have used for years and years and years. Oh, and it's only working at half speed. There needs to be a bucket of water up there. I must have forgot to put it. So let me put that in real quick. And gotta get it past all these guys. There we go. Now it'll work even faster. I thought it was doing pretty good as is, but yeah, I'm not sure whose design this is. I've used it for years and years on pretty much any world that that I play on. It's got 3 villagers on each side. They've got workstations. There's a zombie underneath that scares them, and the iron golems, they spawn up here on top and then they slide off the edge. Oh, now you can see it. There they go. They fall down here into the killing chamber and slide right on into a lava blade. And then there's hoppers here that pick it up, and for now we've got a big stack of chests down here that that collect up all the iron. Yeah, we just used villagers from our little villager breeder there. It was super simple. The only hard part was getting a zombie, and even that went real smooth. I forgot to turn off the villager breeder. Let's get a block. Let's get a block and do that. Because we don't need too many more guys. How many fellas are in there? We'll find something for these guys to do. But yeah, so we built ourselves up a nice little iron farm, and then also we went ahead and built the centerpiece of the nether hub. And while I go over there, I'll let you watch the little time lapse of it, of me building it. Here you go. So yeah, we built the centerpiece of our nether hub here. It's got a little room inside down here. We got some nether wart, and eventually we'll figure out another room down to have at the bottom here. And we're probably going to try and break through the bedrock right here in the middle, but we haven't done that quite yet. Also in the design up the top here, we're supposed to have a beacon that shoots a beacon beam of the teal color up into the sky. But we don't have a beacon to use just for decoration right at the minute, so that'll have to wait. And then in each direction here, we're going to have bridges that go out to where all of the portals are and everything. But we need lots of resources to do that. So this is probably the shortest distance, or the shortest segment. This, if we go down here and look, this is the yellow tunnel, which just goes down to there. I'm not even really sure where this goes. I can't remember. But this needs 8 segments. This side needs 10. This side needs only 2, so that's actually the shortest, my bad. And then this side needs 6. And for each of those segments, if we head back to the overworld, I can show you how many resources we need per segment. So if we look over here, this is for one segment. And there's a few other items that aren't included in this, but we only need like 1 of each or something like that. So we'll just gather those separately. For each section, we need 5 stacks and 21 of tough, a stack and 27 of warped wood logs, 41 iron chains, which is one of the reasons we built the iron farm there because we need lots of iron. 36 basalt, 24 candles, 24 stone brick. This is just some math stuff I was doing. This helped me figure out the base material needs we have, because so we need warped wood fences, right? But then how many logs equal a certain amount of fences, right? So one log is equal to 3 fences, one log is equal to 2 gates, or and whatnot. That's how we figured out the math. And this is the math we need for all of the current segments. So we need 138 stacks of tuff, 36 stacks of warped logs, 3 stacks of blast furnaces, 52 soul soil, 16 stacks of chains, 42 stacks of basalt, 9 stacks of candles, 9 stacks of stone brick, 2 stacks of glass, and 4 stacks of lanterns, of soul lanterns. That's a lot of resources. So we probably won't get that all built today. We might build one section. I'm not sure, because I've got some other stuff I'd like to show you today, so we might have to save that for the future. One project I've been putting in a lot of time on between episodes and on streams is, and you may have seen about it because I did a couple shorts. Let's just try and run past these guys. I made a couple shorts about it, and it's been featured heavily on all of our streams lately because it's a gargantuan project. Is what we're going to do with the end dimension. So I've got a really cool design for the end dimension, like our end build and whatnot. It's a huge mega build. But to do the build the way that I want to, one of the main things we need to do first is completely remove the end island, which takes a lot of time. Now, typically, if you wanted to remove all the end stone, you would probably use some sort of TNT duper or, you know, something like that. Maybe some skulk, something to make it move along pretty quickly. For our needs, though, we need all of the end stone for the final phase of this project. So we need to gather it all up. We can't just blow it up. So we have to mine it by hand, which is what we've been doing on stream. Now you can see here, we sort of have been shaving it off in layers, right? That's just to give me something to think about during the hours and hours of mining end stone. We also need to pretty much remove most of the obsidian pillars. Because, well, this one needs to be removed entirely, and then most of the other ones either need to be taller or shorter, or parts of it need to be shaved off and parts of it need to be built out. And also all of them need to be hollow. So that's a ton of obsidian we have to mine. At the moment, we've mined around 1,000 or so obsidian, I believe. Maybe 1,500. So we got a bunch of obsidian in here, and then all of these are full of end stone up to about here so far. And I'm not going to show it right now in the video because I'd like to make a big video about the whole project and the whole build, and I think it's going to be really cool. But if you tune into the streams, I have on occasion given some sneak peeks and some previews of what the end build actually looks like. So if you really want to see what we're going to be doing, you can either hop over to the VOD channel and try and, you know, scan through the big dig streams to try and find where I showed it, or you can tune in to the streams themselves and just ask, and I'll probably show it to you. I don't mind. For the big build, we're also going to need to build some farms. We're going to need to build an ink farm because it uses a lot of black glass. We're going to need a frog light farm because we use a lot of frog lights, and we'll probably also need a purpur farm, or we might just go out to the outer end islands and mine that all up. But that'll come a little bit later. We're not at that point quite yet. One farm I would like to build is a wither skeleton farm, because as you can see, we got one beacon over there, and its range covers a decent little chunk of the island. But I'd really like to have beacons placed all around so that the whole island can be affected by haste 2 to speed things up a little bit, you know. But to do that, we're going to need some more beacons. We've got the iron farm pumping out iron so we can have blocks for the pyramids, so that's no problem. We just need to actually get the skulls. And let's hop back through here, and we'll walk back home while I talk to you. So the wither skeleton farm that I want to use is actually by ENX04. He's, you know, made a lot of really good farms and whatnot. Originally in this series, I wanted most of the farms to be designed by me, just to showcase, you know, what I can do, sort of learn more about the game and whatnot. But I feel like that's really hindering my ability to do the big builds I want to do and get some progress done and whatnot. So I think I'm going to scrap that rule. If we need a farm, we're going to find a way to build one. Whether it's my farm, like we designed the Blaze farm, but for the Wither Skeleton farm, instead of learning all the mechanics and slowing down the end build progress, we're just going to go ahead and use his farm. You know, I find it so easily to get distracted in this game and fall down a rabbit hole of things I need to do in order to do a thing, in order to do a different thing. So as an example of that, we need more warped wood for the netherhub build. And so I built this, which is ENX04's wood farm. It's pretty great. It's got settings for all the different types of tree types. It dupes TNT up there and drops it down as you're growing trees and blows them up. And then we get wood in here. It's pretty nice. But then to run this, I was running into the issue where I need more bone meal. So I was like, okay, let's build a moss farm. I've got a schematic for a good moss farm. Let's do it. I'm pretty sure it's Raiseworks moss farm. I was like, let's build that. But then I started building it, and I was like, man, I don't have enough redstone components. So I was like, okay, let's craft up some redstone stuff and fill up our redstone box. So I go over here and I pull out the redstone box, and it looks full now, but it was pretty much dead empty when I started this. So I was like, okay, let's start crafting some stuff. And then I was like, man, I don't have any stone or cobblestone to actually craft, you know, pistons or observers or any of that stuff. So I was like, man, we really need some cobblestone. I was like, I could mine it, or I could build a cobblestone farm. So this is a cobblestone generator. I'm not entirely sure who this is by either. Between episodes, I'll have to do some research so I can properly credit all these farms that I'm using, because I really want them to get the credit they deserve, because this thing's fantastic. This is me from the future. I actually did some research and figured it out. The cobblestone farm is from Il Mango, the iron farm is from DocM77, and the wood farm is obviously from ENX04, and then the moss farm is from Raiseworks. All the links to the farms will be in the description. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Flip this lever here, and let's get out of the blast radius. Flip that lever, TNT falls down, cobblestone generates there, and it just... all the cobblestone you could ever want. It's fantastic. I do take a little bit of damage coming up here to turn it off from the explosions. But yeah, this is how we've been getting cobblestone, and that's how we've filled up most of our redstone box here. And now we can actually use those components to build the moss farm, to get bone meal, to grow trees, or the nether hub. Unless I find something else I need to do first. And with a little bit of editing magic, boom, we've got a moss farm. That actually took me a little while. You guys got it done in just a moment. But we got it running. It's self-sufficient, but if you guys want to learn more about it, you'll have to watch the tutorial from, you know, the creator, which I'll link in the description. But as it is right now, it's currently fueling itself. So we're going to let it build up in here before we start siphoning off moss blocks to turn into bone meal to fuel the tree farm and other stuff. So we gotta let this run for a while and fuel itself up. Alright, so we got the moss farm making bone meal so we can get more wood for, you know, our nether hub build here. But I wanted to show you the process of actually building a segment. So I've got all these chests here, and I've been sort of slowly sorting out the resources we need for each segment. That way I can, when I want to build one, I just come in here, I grab everything out, and then we go build it. Let me finish setting up one segment, and then we'll build one together so I can show you what my process is. So we've got everything we need for the first section in here. We can just pop that chest like that. And then for what I use for building is I use Lightmatica. So we'll come out here, and I've already got the schematic in place like that. And then what I like to do is I like to set it to a single layer mode. That way we see this. And I use a setting called Easy Place, which is a toggle. You turn it on, and then if you're looking at one of these hologram blocks, and it doesn't matter what you have in your hand, if you're looking at one and you press right click, it places the correct block. So you can sort of just hold right click and put the layer down, and then we move it up a layer, and we do that. A long time ago, I used to not really be a fan of building with Easy Place, because it felt too easy, you know? It was like, just hold the button, print it out, it's done. But especially with YouTube and Twitch and everything now, I feel like it allows me to get more done without having to spend as much time on like the tedium of trying to, you know, make sure I'm placing the right blocks in the right spots, you know? And it's just super handy to be able to, you know, come out here and do this. I still have to collect all the resources and design the farms. Using Easy Place also allows me to make more complicated designs, more like intricate designs, without having to worry about like exponentially increasing the time it takes to actually put them together, you know, if that makes sense. For stuff like that, we need to place the chain in order to place the lantern, because you can't place lanterns in midair. Sometimes it will place the wrong one. I'm not sure what causes that. It especially helps me get more done, because now I've got 3 little kittens that we recently got, and they like to interrupt me when I'm trying to record videos or stream. Like right now, right in the middle of me recording this clip, I was trying to talk about Lightmatica and all that stuff. One of them was screaming at me for attention and not letting me finish recording. But let's try and get this done, yeah? Ow! So there we have it. That's the first segment done. This is what the top side looks like the bridge part you'll be walking across. The only thing I didn't get done for this section is I need to light these candles, and also there should be a fire on this soul sand here. That provides some lighting, so it's not, because I have full bright on right now for building and you know, recording, but if I turn it off, it's pretty dark. But I forgot to bring a flint and steel, so we'll get one of those and do that in a little bit. But this is what the bridge section looks like. I think it's a pretty good design. The theme matches the thing. I don't know, I like it. Spent a lot of time on this and the central section. It's got a lot of warped wood. The way I did the warped wood, I kind of wanted it to look like it was like being drawn up through the center, and sort of it's like a magical bridge almost in a way. But that's one section down, and like what, 28 more to go. But yeah, I gotta build a bunch more in this direction. I gotta build 9 more in this direction, and then a bunch in all the rest of the directions. And then where we have portals, they're not going to be on this bridge. They're going to be off to the side, you know, somewhere. So we've got to make a way to sort of like a branch off. That way we can go out to wherever we want to have a portal. This is what it looks like. It should be more lit up at the top, but this is what it looks like in normal lighting. Kind of gloomy, but I like it. Let me know if you like it, if you got any suggestions for the bridge or the centerpiece. You know, the centerpiece is still missing the beacon in the middle here that's supposed to be shooting up a beacon beam. But yeah, between episodes, I'll get working on building the rest of these out. They don't take too long to actually put in place once I have the materials. It's just a matter of gathering up all the materials. If I come down here, I can show you. Let me crawl in there. Each one of these is a section we need to do, and that's just for this beginner part. Eventually we'll need to like expand it even further, you know, if we make more portals and whatnot. But each of these has a lot of it already, but a lot of them don't have all the warped wood they need. We got to make the fences and fence gates. They're missing blast furnaces and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to call it for this episode. In between this episode and the next, I'll be working on more of the netherhub. And I'll be working on our other projects, and I'll come up with some new fun stuff to do in the next episode. But you know, for the most part, I'm gonna be here mining endstone for the big end project, because we need to mine away this whole thing. A lot of this will be done on stream, or most of it will be done on stream. I do a lot, as you can see right over here behind the inventory. We've mined about 92k so far, which is a lot. And we need to mine a bunch of obsidian as well. So I've been doing that on stream. And if you want to, you know, if you want to come over and say hi, stop by, watch the process, chat about the episode or whatever, I would absolutely love some company during this monotonous grind. But until next time, bye-bye.